I share the passion or the almost frustration that my colleague from the Media Council expresses himself. And those are issues really that confront us today. I mean, those are issues we should be asking ourselves. Allow me to take it up from Dr. Mustafa's comment, and that's the debate of the day. If you watched Waitito yesterday, I watched him and I saw fire, you know. I wondered, if I was a journalist at the scene, what would I do? Sometimes we wonder. I know that the journalist goes out to report. That's the duty of the journalist. And then you wonder, should this have been given a blackout? I don't know. That's a question sometimes others would ask. Maybe not. Because already we see emotions are tense because of what Waitito said. And then the question of the law enforcement officer just standing by. That is what would happen if Waitito maybe was in the studio. The law enforcement officer may not be aware that when Waitito is speaking this way, he should be able to just do something about it, you know. If he was in the studio, what would the journalist do? And then my colleague talked about Pass FM and our friend there, Sam. So if he provides a platform and the politician comes to the studio and talks all manner of things, what is Sam's role in that studio? Can he take the microphone and, you know, add water to the fire? Or does he just leave it because the politician has spoken? Really, we get back to how prepared our media, our journalists are. And that's a question that we keep on asking. There is training going on everywhere since elections were held. More so since 2000, I think journalists have been trained every time elections are coming up. There is heightened discussions on the role of media in elections coverage. But we need to find out, since then, what is the trend? I'm not sure there has been a research that documents the trend. Are we changing, are we seeing a more responsible media in this country because they have been trained and have been prepared to cover elections? I know that the organization Jane represents is good at doing research. Maybe this is something that they will be focusing on next, just to document and see if we are changing, if we are not seeing a difference, what else can we do? How can we do things differently? The media landscape is changing by the day. We have new entrants, so even when we train today, we're not sure who is going to be there next week. Because people will come on board who haven't had any media background, and they are given this media responsibility. I'm talking specifically about radio, that's my passion. And sometimes when we talk media, we sort of forget the radio. And the radio has the greatest impact. We are always reminded that. When you hear it on the radio, I had it on the radio. So, as we talk about then the preparedness, because I know that media, my assumption is that media has a very great role. And we can have peaceful elections if media wants us to do them. I know the newsrooms or the media houses talk about setting the agenda. I always wonder whose agenda do they set. It's great to see some of the discussions that they've made, some of the contributions they've made to righting the wrongs, or almost righting the wrongs in this country. That agenda, I mean, we commend them. But then again, when it comes to election coverage, our discussion for today, you would wonder sometimes whether it's who steals the thunder or who sells the paper, then you wonder whether the one with the loudest, heading will sell for the day. I think not. The issue of debate, the meetings in the newsrooms, I would say that's encouraging when we hear of that, and I'm responding to my colleague now, that are we seeing that in all the media houses again, or is it just the main media houses? I would wish that even those small media houses, the community radio stations, we can get to them so that if they are owned by those people who want to front their message, whichever way it's side it takes, then they are prepared for the consequences when it comes. So, is Wanjiku telling me it's over? Okay, let me just take one more. When editors, or rather, when we talk about inequalities and injustices, we are aware that has failed a lot of the violence that we have seen. And I'm glad that it came up in the main speaker's presentation. How then is a journalist able to balance the reporting on this so that we don't see that one community feels disenfranchised or doesn't belong? I think we can be peacemakers as a journalist if we choose to do that, and we sure can have more peaceful elections. But we need again to commit ourselves to do the things that we are meant to do, the training that we are trained to do that can translate into real action.
Thank you very much, Pamela. I think it's time to hear also the audience. Remember the presentation.